What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Captain Price with Captain Price Reacts, and today we gon' be watching Jubilee. Do all reality stars think the same? If you're new to the channel, go ahead, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let's get into this video.
Career, I mean, I lost everything. I mean, it was brutal.
I was like really drunk at a bar, and I confronted one of our other cast members about like what his political views might have been, and I think maybe that's the one thing I feel like I probably shouldn't have done.
I mean, sometimes you try and say something and it just doesn't come out perfectly. If it made somebody feel bad, somebody I care about, or like, I feel bad about that for sure.
I just kind of hate looking back at it and not feeling like I was my own person, and aligning with somebody who in the real world I never would have aligned with.
Yeah, I said a lot of out-of-pocket jokes on my show, and a lot of people were mad. I don't regret saying any of it, because at the time I thought it was kind of funny. It's who I am, you know? I say dumb shit.
I mean, did I do stupid things? Maybe. Did I say things that were out of character? Maybe. I think for me, regret would be a wasted emotion, because through your mistakes, that's when you really grow. When we're doing all the right things, we don't ever grow. And so looking back on what I could have, would have, should have done, to me, doesn't make sense. I just use the mistakes and try to channel that into making a better person.
The producers tried to portray me as someone I'm not. 3, 2, 1.
Strongly agree. I knew it.
I had such paranoia and such anxiety because of things that certain producers were trying to get me to say on the show. They tried to get me to body shame one of my castmates. They tried to get me to say some kind of mean, catty things that were very out of character for me, to the point where one of the producers who I liked and felt safe with jokingly called me Regina George, because I would always express to him how I hated that the other producers tried to get me to be a mean girl.
When I got back, everybody was like, did you cheat? Did you lie? Were you a villain? I was like, I'm gonna be a hero. And my father said it best about midway through the first season I was on. And he was like, well, I turned off the TV midway through the show. They're making a jackass out of my son on national TV. I lost my job. I lost my coaching career. I mean, I lost everything. I got hate mail every day. I mean, it was brutal. So on the one side, I felt like the heroic parts that I did were not put in there. However, if I skip to this other side, I also feel like they film us 24 hours a day. I'm pretty eclectic. They picked up on that straight away. And so they were like, we're gonna just expand the boundaries. So when I watch myself, I'm like, that's not me. But then on the other time, I'm like, oh wait, that is me.
I wish I was different than what the show shows. Like, it was me. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't like it, me, and that's okay.
I always wanted to be on a reality TV show. 3, 2, 1.
It's part. I'm gonna pause it right there. Reason why I say that, but I'm pausing it, is because I feel like a lot of them are like that. Reason being, because strongly disagree, is because these are reality shows. Like, they probably just want what's the thing I'm looking for? The experience, not the experience, but the y'all know what I'm talking about. Damn, I hate when I do this. They want the exposure. That's what they want. They want the exposure. So that's probably why a lot of them strongly disagree, because they probably like, yeah, I just do this for exposure, and maybe I can get on a real TV show. Okay.
Why am I not surprised? I won most likely to be on a reality show in high school. Like, it's been part of my being.
Amazing.
I grew up watching Survivor, Big Brother, and The Amazing Race. Like, those 3 shows had such a huge impact on my life growing up, just because it was an opportunity for me to see other gay members of the LGBT community be a voice for someone like me from the Midwest who never really had that to look up to.
When people said to me, man, I applied for this show for 10 years in a row, I'm like, man, you guys gotta get a life. I never.
Damn.
Sorry. sorry. No, but I mean, to apply a couple of times, but over and over. I never watched it. I didn't go out and specifically seek adversity with my castmates, but at the same time, I was trying to push the envelope and do things differently than they had ever been. It was really surprising though, like when you're watching, you get really nervous before the episode because you have no idea what they're gonna grab for the final edit. So when people would say, yeah, Coach is such a jacket. I mean, I think that was hard, but on the flip side, you know, I made some really strong bonds.
I met my girlfriend on the show, and so like we get along pretty well, but the other cast, we're just so different. There's just no scenario that we would be hanging out other than just being forced to live together.
I mean, I can get along with everybody. It doesn't mean I have to like them or respect them. And we get a lot of flack for associating with certain people. And it's like, what do you want me to go against this person? Like, he's in power. I have to pretend to like him. Like, this is not real life, people.
We have a group chat on WhatsApp with all 22 of us still to this day, and over half of them were able to come to our wedding in December. I
That's
recognize
what's up.
what we had was very special, but I also know that it's not for everyone.
A lot of them will strongly agree.
Porn
on
is
that.
only 5% of the issue, and I'm about to show you why.
I just got a quick question for you, man.
What type of commercial was that? I knew it. I strongly gonna agree.
The game is real, the competition's real, every aspect of that side of it is real. But every single conversation I have with somebody who loves the show, you know, no matter how long they've watched it, they always say like, "Oh my gosh, that's so surprising! I didn't know that." So clearly, it is. And for us, even in the house, like week one, we were talking. We're like, "Wait, there's no screen in the diary room?" Like, mind blowing, like small things. So yeah, they're surprised. Like, I'm not gonna say their life is gonna be rocked or changed.
At the end of the day, it's a TV show, you know? So like you just see what's in front of the camera, but if the camera were to just like turn around once, there's a whole crew.
If you were to tell someone like, oh, this happened behind the scenes, but they had watched the show, they wouldn't be like, oh, they'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That person seemed like that they would do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Behind the scenes, there's no behind the scenes. They are adamant. If we don't get it the first time, we will not ask you to recreate a situation. I never saw the host in Tribal say, okay, hold on a second, let me ask that different. It's all one take. And when they're not filming something, you're on absolute strict lockdown. You can't talk to anybody. If the cameras aren't rolling, you don't talk to anybody else. And if you do talk to somebody else, somebody's gonna jump your shit. And they're gonna be like, shut up, you shut up, look that way. And you know, you're basically persona non grata when the cameras are rolling.
Damn.
Reality TV accurately represents reality. 3, 2.
The way they sound, disagree. Bunch of disagrees.
No, it's
Yeah,
here.
Reality TV demonstrates the extremes. The world just isn't binary. Like, it doesn't operate in extremes. It shows you some things that are real, but it doesn't accurately reflect the world because, you know, that's when people sit down and talk, they usually find out they have more in common than they thought.
It's interesting because fans really think it's real life. And
Really?
It's crazy. I mean, somebody can say, yeah, Johnny Depp is Captain Jack Sparrow, and they can be less convinced of that than looking at us and saying, these guys, that's exactly how they are in real life. It's a TV show. Most TV shows are not real.
People really do have a hard time realizing that this is not a real world situation. These scenarios you would never be in, and the high stress and the lack of sleep. I mean, at least I did not sleep like for 99 days. It is not any normal situation that you would put yourself in. However, the emotions and the experiences that happen are very, very raw and very, very real. And I think anyone in those scenarios would have those raw, real emotions. And that's another thing that is hard, I think, for viewers to realize when they're so critical of how we responded to certain things. It's like, well, take my shoes. Please wear them and see how you would do.
Sometimes what you say or an emotion you display might be used in a different context to fit a narrative that wants to be told for the overall show. So I'm glad I didn't focus on that accurately. That I am focusing on the accurately display of reality because it doesn't. It's not very accurate.
I think it depends what your reality is. So if you're put on a show like Survivor, well, that's a weird forced reality that it's not, I mean, that's clearly not like what reality is. But if you're on like My 600-Pound Life, you're 600 pounds, you know? That's their life. That's real to them.
I wish that viewers would realize the separation of reality, but also give us a little more grace in the flawed human moments.
Reality TV is an important form of entertainment. 3, 2, 1.
Hard one. You like I can't.
Tried, I can't. I think reality TV is good for showing like subcultures that we wouldn't know exist, but important? No. I mean, come on. Like, I don't think like we're learning valuable lessons by watching Guido's party.
There's, certain shows that maybe lack value more than others, but at the same time, reality TV is so broad. There are actually a lot of very informational, very fascinating shows.
I think that we can see ourselves in characters all the time, but I feel for so many it's probably easier when you're looking at real people. Oh, if I was in that situation, how do I respond? I feel like there is something intrinsically important about being able to put yourself in other people's shoes.
I think it depends on the show. And I think everyone who's watching that show is gonna have a different reaction to it. Like some shows may not have an impact on me where others might, but I'll never forget the impact that watching Survivor Africa, season 3, Frank and Brandon sharing popcorn and candy, watching a drive-through movie in the middle of the African plains together, was a gay man and a guy who's never interacted with a gay man before in his entire life. And just watching that interaction and that experience at such a young age had such a profound impact on me.
Oh, damn, that was it? I mean, y'all go ahead, like, subscribe, and turn notifications. That was pretty good.